Poverty is not a punishment. Poverty is a consequence, and every consequence has a cause. The fear of poverty does not protect you from it. It paralyzes you. It makes you clutch what little you have until it slips through your fingers. It makes you dread the loss more than you pursue the gain. And so the poor man remains poor, not because gold never found its way to him, but because fear was louder than wisdom. In our last journey through these ancient streets, we learned that gold, once saved, must never sleep. The wise man does not hoard his coins in clay jars and call himself wealthy. He sends his gold into the world, carefully, wisely, so that it may return to him multiplied, like seeds cast into fertile soil. But today, we go deeper. Today, we stand at the edge of something greater. Today, we receive what Arcad himself called the most precious inheritance a father can give his son. Not land, not title, not silver, but laws. The desert wind had grown cold by the time Nomasir reached the gates of Babylon. He had been gone 10 years. 10 years since his father, the richest man in the city, had placed two things in his hands: a heavy bag of gold coins and a clay tablet covered with small, careful words. "Choose wisely," his father had said. "The gold will test you, but the tablet will save you." Nomasir smiled. He was young. He was proud. He chose the gold and barely glanced at the tablet. The first years were bright. He feasted with merchants who spoke of grand ventures, men with confident eyes and persuasive tongues. He lent his gold to a brickmaker who knew nothing of bricks. He gambled on a horse race whose outcome was already decided. And he trusted a stranger dressed in a nobleman's robes who carried a thief's soul. Then one morning, he woke to nothing, not a single coin. The bag empty. Those he had called friends, gone. And there, in the corner of a cold room in a foreign city, the clay tablet waited. He finally read it. His hands trembled. The second years were a war, not against others, against himself. He swept floors. He carried loads. He learned what it truly means to break the back and burn the pride. And slowly, painfully slowly, he began again. But this time, he did not merely read the words on the tablet. He opened it, and he obeyed. He did not touch that one coin of every 10, not once. Even when the pain screamed, he stayed silent. Even when hunger knocked, he held firm. His savings went to the hands of the wise, not to the hands of those who deal in promises. And when a man came with polished words and dreams of fast wealth, he closed his ears and turned his back. A small house, a humble plot of land worth nothing in the eyes of the great, but it was his, and a man does not build his legacy on another man's ground. He invested, but only in what his hands had touched and his mind had understood. No illusions, no gambling, no trust given where it was not earned. The progress was slow, so slow it was almost invisible. But it was accumulating, like sand that builds a mountain. And at the end of the 10th year, he had not simply recovered what he had lost, he had crushed it beneath his feet and built upon its grave. He walked through the great gates of Babylon, not in shame, but with his head raised toward the sky. He stood before his father, older now, quieter, but with eyes that had seen everything. He told his story. Every failure, every night of hunger, every moment of despair. He did not hide the part where he wasted his gold. He did not hide the tears. And when he finished, the old man rose. He did not speak immediately. He looked at him for a long moment. Then he held him and said in a voice that needed no volume, "The gold you carry now cannot be stolen, because it is not in your bag. It is in you." These are the 5 laws of gold. Gold comes willingly to the man who saves no less than 1/10 of all he earns.
Gold multiplies for the man who finds it worthy employment. Gold clings to the man who seeks wise counsel before he invests. Gold slips away from the man who invests in ventures he does not understand. And gold flees from the man who chases impossible promises or follows his own desires and romantic dreams. These are not suggestions, they are not opinions. They are the architecture of wealth, tested across generations in markets and wars and famines. Nomasir did not inherit his father's riches. He built something rarer. He inherited his father's understanding. And now, I ask you, traveler, listener, seeker, which of these laws have you broken? Not in shame, but in honesty. Have you sent your gold to men whose words were sweeter than their wisdom? Have you chased returns so large they could only be lies? Or have you simply never begun? Gold does not judge you, but it is watching. And the question is not whether you have failed before. The question is, what will you do now with what you know? But here is what Arkad's tablet did not prepare Nomasir for. What comes after the laws? There is a test that awaits every man who finally masters gold. A test not of discipline, but of something far more dangerous. Something that has destroyed wiser men than you or I. Something that does not come from outside. It comes from within. The next lesson is not about gold. It is about the enemy that gold creates. And that enemy wears your face. Subscribe now for more wisdom.